It's not that they didn't know what a will was. It's just that they never knew they could have a will in the UAE.
What was some of the challenges then?
You got to have some deaths. I had a
Okay.
real case where the husband willed everything to his second wife and he left his daughter out of the will. If you're telling me I'm living here with a UK passport, the UK will find out and your family will end up paying 40% tax.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to reality. Another episode, another week. Today is a special one because we have with me our guest, Mr. Mohammad Marria.
Thank you.
And no, we did not decide to have the same color of suits. It was just by coincidence because great minds think alike.
Oh,
So
thank you.
what can I say? Anyways, today is going to be a very interesting one for people who are all revolved around wills and heritages and all of these things. We're going to dig deep into those topics. So without any further ado, Mr. Muhammad Marria, please,
Thank
the
you
stage
very
is
much.
yours. Let us know. I wanted to ask you first, the simplest question, what is a will?
Okay, it's a good question. We say, and I know it's a morbid subject,
Yeah,
the dead cannot speak.
true.
Okay? So look at the will as your last wishes, a document, a message from the grave, basically dictating how certain matters should be dealt with when it comes to your assets, custody of the children, and even like the financial controller
Yeah,
who's looking after your money. It's protecting the legacy, making sure things continue. For me, I think it's this clarity, telling your family, these are my last wishes. Please follow it and respect it. But the document needs to be authenticated. It needs to be registered somewhere
yeah.
so that if there's any clashes, at least you know that the document is genuine.
To protect you.
To protect your legacy.
Yeah.
So none of these handwritten wills that you put under your pillow and hoping this will work. No, get it registered in a court so you know it's authenticated. And like I said, it's a voice from the grave.
Yeah.
I think that's all I can sum it up for a will. It's your last message to your family and the world.
Okay, that's great. And let's get back to the beginning. What inspired you to get into the field of wills and inheritance, and especially at the time when it wasn't common in Dubai?
You know, I came to Dubai, to the United Arab Emirates in 1998. That was my first trip, and I fell in love with the city. And every year I would come back with my family, and every time I come back, I would see something different, something new. And when the property market started, say, in the early 2000, it was just so fascinating to see the vision, the plan that this country had, and what they were building, and you know, just to see sand or a desert, and they saying there's going to be a G+40 building here. So I would scratch my head and think, really?
Yeah,
And
like,
you know,
yeah.
I mean, I'm used to seeing a physical product, not selling in thin air or buying in thin air. So I had my reservations about investing here, but I did see things happening.
Yeah.
And I saw how buildings were coming and people were buying and making money. So for me, I mean, I came from a background of wills, probate, inheritance from the UK. So when I was coming backwards and forwards on vacation from the UK into the UAE, you know, I was obviously overwhelmed with what's going on, but I realized no one has a system here. There isn't a system here. So when I would come, I'd speak to people who I would, you know, I could interact with and say, so what happens if somebody passes away? And everyone will scratch their heads and say, we don't know. No one has passed away. Nothing has happened. So I saw that as an opportunity, although the concept, it's not like I'm reinventing a will, reinventing the will. It was just that it was a brand new market. Things are moving too quickly. In fact, I think it was too quick than people could have imagined. But I realized that there is a system that is desperately required.
Mm-hmm.
So that was when I had the opportunity in 2004 and 5
Yeah.
to come here. And from Just Wills from the UK, I was like the guinea pig to come here
Yeah.
to start this. And yeah, that's how I started it from the early years.
The growth and how the city was evolving in such a very fast pace, it was something for you that inspired you that this is the place I would like to be.
Oh,
And
definitely.
yeah,
I would say to my family, to my wife, I say, we can live here,
yeah,
because language wasn't an issue.
true.
Because, when you move to a country, language is usually an issue.
Yes.
How can you communicate?
Yeah.
That wasn't a problem. Everyone speaks English here, which is great. And, when you're speaking to even with the locals, Urdu, which is another language, it was easy to communicate. So I found that to be fascinating that, you can come here, you can speak to anyone. You don't feel like,
There's a language barrier.
Exactly. You have to get the dictionary out or look up words. And we didn't have Google Translate in those days. So, translation was easier. But for me, safety was number one.
Yeah.
That I felt it was a very safe city.
Exactly.
Coming from Southwest London, where I was born,
Mm-hmm.
it was every parent's dream to have their children growing up in an environment where it's very safe.
True. We're blessed. We're lucky to be
Very
here. So you were among the first to write a will here in the UAE.
I registered the first will
Yeah.
in December 2012.
Wow.
And my client, he was Lebanese as well.
Okay.
So when I took him to the court, I said to him, look, I don't know what I'm going to expect here, because you're my first client. So you're the guinea pig. Be prepared. So we got there about 9:30 in the morning, and we finished by about 10:30, if that.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it. It was so simple. So we registered the first will, and I designed the template for the Dubai courts. So they used that as a platform that this is now the will we want.
Wow.
And this happened in 2012.
2012. And what challenges did you face early on, both legally and socially? And like when introducing this concept to the clients in Dubai, what was some of the challenges that you faced?
Well, many people had to explain what a will was. Like the first question
Exactly.
And people would say to me, oh, we never thought about that. And I think, sorry to say, the challenges really I faced is that you got to have some test cases.
Yeah.
You got to have some deaths to take place. Sure. You got to let the information spread to people that, look, he passed away. Look what happened. Look how the family had to deal with all the red tape. Yeah. And, it was like going to the courts. Even they didn't know what was going on. Educating any people from center of influence, like relationship managers, financial advisors. It's not that they didn't know what a will was. It's just that they never knew they could have a will in the UAE and that there is a system. So the marketing was the biggest challenge for me. So I had to market. Yeah. So I carried out so many presentations, meetings. I remember doing a talk with Mashreq Bank in 2008 in Sharjah. And I had a room full of people, and it was trying to educate them what a will is, why they need it, and obviously how it would save time and money if they were to pass away. I would say another challenge I had was trying to follow up on the real death cases, interacting with the families, talking to them, asking them. Even the banks weren't sure what to do. Yeah. So, it's like whoever I would speak to, it's like for them, it was reinventing the will. It was challenging for them. They didn't know what to do. So things had to go back to the legal departments. Legal departments weren't sure what to do. So when it came to your bank accounts, your money is blocked. If you have a visa, your visa's cancelled. So how do you deal with that? Because you're not thinking about the will. You got to understand, if you pass away, your bank account's blocked. So how's your family going to put the food on the table?
I have a question. So basically, your process does not end after providing the will.
No,
Your
no,
process
no.
keeps
It's
going
the
on
beginning.
until after the death, and then basically the relatives and the family members, they get back to you because you have the full. Are you the person who has the full authority to dictate, for example, if everything is going in accordance to the will?
Look, when it comes to will, there's certain sort of, you can say,
Boundaries?
boundaries or segments of the
Okay.
will.
Uh-huh.
So the first segment, I would say, I mean, every segment
Mm.
or authority or paragraph or what makes the will, every part of the will is important. But one of them is who is the executor of the will.
Mm.
The executor, look at this person as a PRO
Mm-hmm.
on steroids.
Yeah.
So he is the one going to the court
Mm-hmm.
to give all the information.
Mm-hmm.
So the death certificate,
Yeah.
the title deed,
Mm-hmm.
the bank statement,
Yeah.
the mulkir for the car,
Mm-hmm.
the trade license.
Yeah.
That's the job of the executor.
Mm.
So he needs to make a file, give it to the court to tell the court, here's the will.
Mm-hmm.
So you need the will,
Yes,
obviously.
yes.
And here's all the supporting documents like the marriage certificate,
Mm-hmm.
children's birth certificates. He gives that to the court. So that is one part of the will,
Yeah.
is the executor.
Mm-hmm.
The second part is who are the beneficiaries.
Yeah.
So the beneficiaries could be who's going to inherit from you. So if you're single, you might want to leave your assets to your brother, your sister, your mother, your father.
Yeah.
So I need a roadmap who's getting the money. So the executor's given the paperwork to the court. But if your family is living in another country, you don't expect them to come here to deal with the red tape here. So that's why the executor, if he's based here, it's a bonus that somebody here can give the paperwork to the court. The beneficiaries are people sitting wherever and they will receive the money.
Yeah.
Then if you're married with children, and who are the guardians of the children? Yes, it will be the wife or the mother, but let's say, God forbid, and everything's God forbid, if both parents pass away, you've got minor children in the UAE. Who's going to look after them? That's the third part.
Okay. And in terms of any breaches to the will, how do we deal with it?
Look, breaches, it's a very open-ended word, like we are following the will.
Okay.
So if you appoint X to become the executor of the will, X is only following the will. So let's take a hypothetical example. I had a real case where the husband willed everything to his second wife and he left his daughter out the will. Okay? It was very upsetting.
Indeed.
Very
Yeah.
upsetting.
Yeah.
What was his reasons? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to make any guesses here.
Yes.
So the daughter called me up from the UK and said, how did my father leave everything to my stepmother? I mean, according to UAE law, according to UK law, according to Sharia, I should get a share. I said, you're right, but your father willed everything to your stepmother. There's nothing I can do. Now, she wanted to challenge the will. I said, go and do it. But the court is going to follow the will.
Yeah, true.
So that's why it's important. What you write, be careful. Because I can only give you my experience, but the ultimate decision lies with you. That's why in some cultures, when the daughter gets married, she's sort of like disinherited. So the father said, look, I've done a lot for my daughter. She got married. I gave her a house. I gave her this. I gave her that. You know, now I need to concentrate on my son. So I'm not leaving a penny to my daughter. And I say, well, that's wrong. Because, okay, you gave money to her. That's good. But wait a minute. Tomorrow she could be divorced. Tomorrow she could be a widow. And then she'll be, begging your son for the financials? So treat them equally. I only can give you the information. I only can show you the door. I mean, it's up to you what you do. Yeah.
Just advice. And one of the challenges as well we spoke about, you were telling me off camera as well, is that when you came here, you had to understand the different laws of other countries and legalities. And what would you like to share about?
The UAE has become a very multicultural country. That's what I love about this part of the world. I've interacted with so many people. I remember telling you that for some countries, I had to look up the country on the world map because I've sort of heard the country, but I don't know where that country is. So I remember interacting my first client from Namibia,
Yeah.
which is a country next to South Africa. I mean, I know South Africa,
Yeah.
but when someone said Namibia, and I
Yeah.
thought, well, Namibia, I need to check that.
Yeah.
So I looked at the world map, and
Yeah.
so that's how my geography has gone much better over the years. But the challenge for me is people would be wanting information on the laws of their home country. So that, I would say, was the biggest challenge for me. So over the years, reading up on the internet, looking at real case studies, talking to families, telling me stories, what happened in their country or what happened to the assets there. It's been very interesting because I know the UAE is a very multicultural country. A lot of people from all over the world are living here. So I try to keep my focus within the UAE. However, there are many cases people say, okay, what happened to my bank accounts in Canada? Tell me, I've got a property in Kenya, or I've got a property in the UK, or I've got a business in Italy.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen there? So, it's like I have to become sort of an international estate planner.
Yeah.
So I would say, even up till today, I'm not saying I know all the laws of every country.
Yeah.
I'm still learning, but I'd like to keep my focus within the UAE because at the end of the day, you are living here, your asset is here, your money is here. So we need to concentrate here. But many people will try to get information from their home country. The other issue I have is that when it comes to international estate planning, I mean, how many languages you want me to draft in the will itself? Because here's usually between English and Arabic, for example. Now, if you're telling me I want French, or you want Spanish, or you want Turkish, I'll say, wait a minute, how many languages you want me to sort of factor into the will? So I try to focus within the UAE, but having an understanding, a broad understanding of international estate planning, I would say was one of the biggest challenges I went through.
Wow. It's quite good to acquire all of this knowledge, especially to be multicultural and to understand different from case to case. It's very interesting.
I find it fascinating.
I wanted to touch base as well on one more thing. So I believe even for me and a lot of people would like to ask this question. So let's say if I would like to create a will, do I need to go back home to write my will back in my hometown, or I can create it even if I was abroad? Or how does it work?
Look, I would say for your home country, it's better you make a will there. Why? Because it will be in a local language. Two, you're notarizing it in the court of the jurisdiction where you intend to use it. And number three, you can take independent advice from someone there. Because one thing I refuse to, I won't say refuse to assist, but I don't want to because I don't want to give wrong information, is when it comes to inheritance tax, death duties. Now, if you look at Europe, every country or most countries have inheritance tax there. How am I going to learn the tax of every country? So it's like if you're Italian or German or French, then take independent tax advice from somebody living in the country. And there's a difference between resident and domicility. So you could be living here, resident here, but you're still domiciled in your home country. So when it comes to death duties, the home country is looking at where were you domiciled. So I'll give you a real case example. Someone I knew, well, when I say knew, someone who's got a UK passport and said to me, I don't live in the UK. I live here and I've got so many properties and businesses. So if I pass away, there should be no inheritance tax. I said, who told you that? They said, oh, one person said, because you don't live in the UK, you don't need to worry about it. I said, wait a minute, you've got a UK passport? He said, yes. I said, look, so long you have that passport, you will be domiciled there, whether you like it or not. Now, if you don't want to be domiciled in the UK, then give your passport back and take out a different passport. Then you probably have more chances. However, if you're telling me I'm living here with a UK passport, the UK will find out or come to learn about the assets you own here, and your family will end up paying 40% tax. So, these are the situations I get involved with. That's why I try my best to, sort of stick to the UAE. I just want to, concentrate on the jurisdiction I know, because the UAE has no tax, no death duties. But if you're holding a European passport, that's up to them if they're going to tax you here.
True. So, what was the turning point where you felt this field started to gain traction in the UAE? And was there any specific event, case, or regulation that changed the whole game?
It was a very sad story back in 2008. And I think one of the major turning points was that there was a case that I was called to, and it already happened before I got there, before people say, oh, you could have done this or done that. So parents died in a car accident. Children were at school. The school didn't know what to do, who to contact. So you imagine it's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Nobody's going to pick up the children. So what did the school do? Well, what do you think? If you're the head teacher of a school and you find out the parents have died and you got 2 young children in the school, it's now 5 o'clock. You've got to go home. Everyone's gone home, children gone home, teachers gone home. You're there with 2 children. I'm asking you a question. I don't think it's your children. You're the head teacher. So you got to be unbiased, objective, and you got to be looking at the protection, the welfare of the 2 children. Who are you going to call?
I don't know. It's very tough. I mean,
the school called the police.
wow.
That's all they had to do. The police came and took the children. Then they had to contact the embassy here for the embassy to locate the next of kin in the home country. When the grandparents were alerted, by the time they got all the paperwork, visas, all the certificate attestation, and the court flights, had to borrow money to come here and get visas, it took more than 2 months. Now, please, I tell everyone, don't ask me where were the children in those 2 months. Don't ask me that question. Due diligence need to be carried out because this is children. And in any country, anywhere in the world, if the children are in any sort of protective custody, especially when the next of kin or the grandparents, whoever the next family members are, living in a different country, paperwork takes time. So that I would say was one of the major turning points, that I came up with the concept of interim guardians. And I wrote an article in one of the local newspapers. Every parent needs to appoint local guardians who will take the children into temporary care and to be in a position that they are obviously authorized to do so by having the registered will in the court, so that they can contact the permanent guardian from the home country who can come here and take the children. I would say it was one of the major turning points back in 2008. I wrote an article because the school called me for a presentation. All the parents were shaken. They couldn't believe something like this could have ever happened. So that's why having a will, I tell people, especially parents, if you have children, that's why you should be making a will, because you're in a foreign country. Yes, we agree it's become very multicultural, but I think we also can agree not every person have their parents or siblings living here with them. That's why they need to have temporary guardians if there's children. I mean, I'm not only talking about the children, it's also covering all your assets here as well. Your properties, your personal belongings, your bank accounts, your gratuity, your life insurance, your jewelry, even your gratuity or life insurance you have. All of that is part of the will. So that was a major turning point. The school called me in. I wrote an article, It was published in the local papers, and that created a huge interest in people, where everyone was saying, look, yeah, we need to be careful because this is possible.
Of course. I mean, when it comes to wills, usually we tend to always think that, oh, we will create a will at the end or the elderly stage of our life, and that's where. But that's not the case when it comes to the example that you just shared with us right now, because you never know. Nobody can predict what's hiding for them the next day.
We don't know.
So it's
We
always
don't
good
know.
to have it to have everything
In order,
in
yeah.
order. Exactly.
You know, if you don't mind me saying, I believe age is a number.
True.
So when years and years ago, a 60-year-old man or mid-50s would marry someone half his age, people say, what is wrong with you? You married someone like the age of your daughter. And the person would say, well, wait a minute, I feel young, you know. So what, I'm 55. I feel young. I want to marry a 30-year-old. What's wrong with that? Now when I'm dealing with death cases, people young as 30 dying, I just say age is a number.
True.
It was his time written.
True.
I don't agree with it, but that was his time. He had to go. So now the question is, what happens afterwards? So I think sorry to say this, but I feel like because there's more and more cases, people passing away, that's where I get busy. I don't like it. It's not that I'm wanting this to happen, but it's happening.
True.
If I can add from my personal experience, if you look at the crime rate of this country, relatively, it's very low. It's non-existent. Now, you tell me, if somebody passed away in a car accident on the Sheikh Zayed Road, how many people is going to find out? Hundreds and thousands, yeah? Car accident, Sheikh Zayed Road, person died, blah, blah, blah. You know what people also find out afterwards? Oh, his bank accounts were blocked. This happened. His wife had to leave the country. This happened, that happened. Now, you tell me, how many people died in car accidents in other countries? Does it even reach the newspaper? Does it even come on a local radio station? No. Because there's other matters to be discussed. So someone died in a car accident, no one's going to talk about it here. Everyone's going to talk about it. Well, what is funny, if you go to Canada, they freeze bank accounts. You go to South Africa, they freeze bank accounts. You go to Germany, they freeze accounts. So don't tell me freezing of the bank accounts only happen here. Even in Lebanon, they freeze bank accounts when they have been notified. So to unblock a bank account, you need a court order. Remember this. To transfer a property, if you have a business and you have 50%, even to transfer that 50%, you need a court order. It's not like your business partner goes to the economic department and say, hey guys, my business partner died. Can you transfer the 50%? I said, wait a minute. Who are you? Who died? Go to the court will write to us, then we do the transfer. Or if your family goes to the bank and say, I need money to put the food on the table, the bank will say, get a court order. Now, to get a court order, somebody has to go to the court. You remember I said in the beginning, the executor.
Exactly.
Now, the executor needs to go, say the PRO, it sounds better. I like to refrain from legal words because I don't want to confuse people. The PRO is going to the court to get the court order. The court wants the documents. They want the death certificate. They want the trade license. You give the information to the court and the will, the court will respect it. But the court, if you don't make a will, the law of the land will apply. Now, every country has their default law. I'm not here to say this law is better, that law is better. But remember I said to you earlier, the will is a document speaking on behalf of the deceased person. So when you are no more, what document is speaking for you? It's the will, but draft the will, register it. So it is a voice from the grave. And this saves a lot of family problems because money, to me, is the uproot of all evil. It causes all the problems and everyone's looking for number one. That's why you have the will. Now, people, like you said, I agree with you. They think about this when I'm 60, when I'm 70. Do you know, for me, the average age when I'm dealing with a death case is about the mid-40s. That's how many death cases are coming. Who would think someone 45, don't drink alcohol, vegetarian, fit as a fiddle, is dying of a massive heart attack? I can give you a list of 20 cases I've dealt with. I don't agree with it. But when your time's written, it's written. That's all. That's what I believe in. It's not rocket science.
True.
So we need to be practical. So talking about the subject, I agree. It's a morbid subject. It's a party pooper, but we got to be practical. We come in this world to go. So it's up to you what you want to do.
Exactly. So looking back, what was one of the mistakes or lessons that you've learned in the early stages that helped you shape your business today?
It's a very it's not a simple answer I can give to this. If I could take the clocks back, but I would have wished if I could put a copyright on the template I registered in the court. Because now I feel like so many people have got hands of the templates and they are changing paragraphs and they're trying to make it work according to them. I wish I could have a copyright to say, you can't touch this. This is a will I've prepared. I've drafted from scratch and introduce it to the courts. But right now, if I could say something, is that it would be great, people like me who are offering such a service, to be consistent with the same information they give in the market. I feel like I'm trying to correct other people that it's not like this, it's like that. So it's because I've had such a vast experience dealing with these matters. And like you said, it's not just drafting the will. That is the beginning. For me, it's dealing with the family, holding their hand in the court, making sure the money is transferred to them. And I can tell you one thing, that is not a simple task, because many people don't even want to take the money back to their country. They don't have a choice. Now, when your visa's cancelled, you can't open the bank account. How can you keep the money here then? You need a visa. That's why my advice changes. I'm telling people, everyone should get a golden visa. Everyone should have separate visas. Even your children should open bank accounts, both locally and internationally. Keep life assurance, because all your debts and liabilities will need to be settled. Have individual bank accounts so that if your husband's account's blocked, the wife can have a separate account to take money out and to receive money. You're working, somebody working for Emirates Airline, example. Do you know Emirates Airline gives out life assurance? They call it the Provident Fund. How many people fill in the beneficiary form that if they pass away, the money should go to that person? No one does it. So you join a company, they giving you free life assurance, and you can't even be bothered to complete the beneficiary form. And I tell people, what do you want them to do? Now, you pass away, they're sitting on $1 million dirhams. Who are they going to give the money to? Then they need a court order. So how are you going to get the court order? Somebody's got to go to the court with that file. But here comes the most dangerous part of this subject. How many people tell their family where the money is in the first place? You know, husbands don't even tell their wives. Wives don't tell their husbands. There's very little transparency. Parents don't tell their children because they're scared if the children find out how much money the parents have, they won't even finish their university education. They won't take life seriously. They're thinking, don't worry, when my father's dead, I'll get the money. And that's it. That's why their parents refuse to tell the children. But now the problem lies that when that PRO goes to the court and he don't have the folder or he's not up to date, what are you going to tell the court? That's why I won't say the UAE. There is so much money sitting in banks unclaimed. It's a joke. People ask me, which is the richest country in the world? And this is just my humble opinion. I think it's Switzerland. Why? Because they have money sitting there even since the Second World War. I don't know if you know this, after 99 years, the money goes back to the government in Switzerland. Here it's 10 years, UK's 5 years. I don't know about the other countries, but you imagine after 99 years from the Second World War, which, well, it's happening now as we speak. All that money is going back to the government. they will become the richest country because people are moving their money there. I mean, I'm not giving Switzerland as the only example. It happens every country in the world.
True. And what are the things that you feel like changed or evolved in your business and in your work that you do from back when you started until now? What are the things that changed in your perspective? Did anything change in the terms of the wills and inheritance, or
I think you've got to be, you got to be educated, learning from the real cases, the challenges the family faces. So golden visas now, good example. I'm telling everyone, take it out. If you are eligible, well, why are you not taking it out? Because with golden visas, they don't cancel it. The dependent visas are cancelled. Golden visas are not cancelled. Number two, it's making sure, like I remember back in 2012, I think banks made life insurance mandatory for all mortgages. So if you bought a property prior to 2012, the life insurance wasn't mandatory. I mean, the bank will say, take out life insurance. You said, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes, by the way. So you complete your purchase without life insurance. Now you pass away. How does a bank get their property back? How do they get the money back? That's why life insurance became mandatory. So I would say over the years, changes have happened, positive. And post-COVID, now you can register your will online. So you could be sitting in Australia and you want to register a will from there, just you need to factor in the time difference. You can do it now. You don't need to come here. It's like, for me, what I would like to see is if you take out a bank loan to buy a car, the bank should be giving you free life insurance. They're making good money. They're making good money from you taking a loan from them. So why cannot they give the life insurance? So you imagine a husband pass away, and in this country you need a car, you know that.
True.
They freeze your bank account. So your husband pass away, they freeze the bank account, then they chase in the family to make the installments. And the family said, wait a minute, you froze the bank accounts. They said, yeah, we froze it, go and get the court order, but in the interim, you got to pay for the installments. So I think the bank should be saying, look, your husband's no more. There's 200,000 dirham, we're clearing it. That I would expect for them to do. But for the mortgages, life insurance is separate. That's a different matter. But I think personally, I just feel like people are still unaware of the challenges. So I would like to see like some companies providing the will service complementary to the employees. Excuse me, like they give life insurance. We spoke about Emirates Airline.
True.
They give complimentary life insurance, complimentary wills.
Nice. And to wrap things off, lastly, what would you like to give an advice from your end for whoever is watching this episode right now? What advice would you give them?
Don't think you'll live forever. The best type of will, I would say, is the will that you sit down and tell your family, this is what I want to happen afterwards. So you have a face-to-face conversation and tell your family, and then draft the actual document, register it in the court. I would like to tell the families, be transparent what you own. I even tell people over the weekend, have a dummy run. You say, what's a dummy run? Simple. Husband, I mean, I don't want to be sexist here, but let's be practical. The man goes before the woman. Agreed? Yeah. Why you think life insurance is more expensive for the male than the female? Because even insurance companies know that that life expectancy for a male is less than that of a female.
Sure.
So I'm speaking to the married couples in particular, husbands. I'll say to you, over the weekend, shut everything, no TV, everything off, and tell your wife, I'm no more. Write down what I own. Who are you going to contact? Write down the passwords of everything. How would you access my emails? A dummy run. And I guarantee you, she will fail. That's why you need to have the transparency,
True.
so that when the husband is no more, the wife has all the information. The wife can become the PRO, by the way,
Oh,
going to the court. I didn't mean it to
yeah.
be a separate person.
Yeah.
No, the wife is the PRO. She needs that folder.
Mhm.
We've now coming up with a concept called the death folder.
Mhm.
The death folder is all your documents. And we have a checklist what you should be doing.
Yeah.
So for that checklist, you can contact me
Mhm.
and I'll give this to everyone. So that checklist is what you should be collecting for the PRO.
Mhm.
The PRO can be the wife, the son, the daughter, the brother, the mother, the father, anyone who you like. Put the name in the will. The court is following the will. But you need to have that folder. And that folder is your job, your responsibility to update it.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, 6 months down the line, you buy a car,
Mhm.
update the folder.
Mhm.
You got some cryptocurrency, update the folder. You buy property, you got an off-plan property, update the folder. The will is just stating the obvious, who gets what.
True.
But the folder is important, like where the money is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just become a statistic.
Yeah.
Your money's going to be sitting in some bank, and I guarantee there's no bank on this planet is going to come to your family and say, I'm sorry your brother passed away.
Mhm.
We've got money here. How would you like it? That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
They'll keep your money, and that's it.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
No,
Thank
It
you.
was a pleasure.
Pleasure's mine.
honestly.
Thank you.
And I hope the audience as well, you guys have gained some knowledge and insights about this topic that we touched based on, and we couldn't get anyone better than Mr.
No,
Mohammad
no,
Marria
thank you
himself.
very much.
And until next week, we'll get back to reality.